Law Internal Affairs, 1140.
Internal Affairs, Adrienne speaking.
Hi, ma'am. Is this Internal Affairs?
Yes, Adrienne speaking. How can I help you?
Hi, Adriana. My name is Aaron Fanning. I really need some help in getting a report taken, please. I've been calling for weeks. I had LAPD tell me that I need to contact you guys. They said that...
Aaron?
Yes, ma'am.
Aaron, okay, hold on, please, because I have to connect you to the correct person. Hold on.
Thank you.
We're building a new LAX that will make traveling into, out of, and around LAX more efficient and better than ever. Construction is a people mover train that will connect passengers to a new transit center with connections to 2 metro rail lines, a new drop-off and pickup facility with more parking, and a consolidated rent-a-car facility are all underway. We're also modernizing the airport by renovating every terminal and adding additional ones that will greatly improve the guest experience. Make sure to arrive early and plan ahead during construction. For more information, visit www.flylax.com, and thank you for your patience as we create a world-class airport. We're working hard to make LAX way better, really. Channel Affairs.
Hello. Hi, ma'am. My name is Aaron Fanning. I've been trying to call. I'm sorry, I'm autistic. I really badly need to start a report. I was advised by LAPD Internal Affairs, who actually contacted you guys also, that, this needs to be addressed by LAWA. An officer had originally told me he was going to call me back. That was weeks ago. They're not calling me back. I spoke with one lady, and to be honest, I spoke with her for like a half hour. I explained what's going on. I'm super distressed, and I felt very condescendingly dismissed.
Aaron, listen to what I'm about to tell you. I was the lady you spoke to, but then when I asked you, do you want to make a complaint and start asking you questions, then you hang up the phone. So either you want to make a complaint.
I absolutely do, ma'am. I have that last call recorded.
Okay, that's fine, because I know what I said.
Ma'am, I'm not trying to be rude to you at all. Again, as I was trying to, let me just say, I was trying to take accountability about the last call, and I was not trying to infer any blame on anybody else. I was trying to advise what the situation was. If we could try to not have any upset between me and you, because I was not trying to bust on you or anything like that. I was literally trying to be accountable of where we were. If we could kind of just cross that bridge together, I would really appreciate it, ma'am. Because I'm disabled, and what my misunderstanding of what I received from that conversation, and I'm not saying that you intended it or that's what it was, but what I received was I honestly terrified, because what I understood was that what I heard that to mean of, oh, well, he used to be LAPD and will protect you, from what he's done to me for a year is scary. So maybe I received that 100% wrong, and I apologize. That's why I've been trying to call, and that's why I tried to initiate this call where I'm being accountable, and I'm not trying to place blame on anybody else, but this is a dangerous position. The man...
So let me ask you this, because you were on the phone for a while, and I'll let you talk last time. So do you want to make an initial complaint? And let me tell you what that entails. That entails you listening to the investigator who's going to take the complaint. The investigator is going to interview you. He's going to have to take the interview, and then that's what's going to have to happen. Because we can't initiate a complaint if you're not cooperating with
Ma'am, I'm 100% cooperating, and that's why I have this recorded.
Okay, so do you want to make an official complaint today?
Absolutely.
Okay, so hold on. Let me transfer you to the on-call investigator.
Okay, awesome.
Construction is a people mover train that will connect passengers to a new transit center with connections to 2 metro rail lines, a new drop-off and pickup facility with more parking, and a consolidated rent-a-car facility are all underway. We are also okay, the person is not here, but I'm going to transfer you to their number and leave a message and let them know that you want to make a complaint, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Initial complaint. So let me tell you what it entails. It entails she's going to ask you a couple of questions. She's going to ask you about what your complaint is.
she's going to have to probably interview you and put you on tape. And the reason we do that is that's because...
Sounds perfect. Like, I have no qualms with any of that. I'm with it. I'm with it 100%, ma'am. I don't mean to cut you off. I just mean that, no, whatever the process is, I'm completely willing and wanting to be compliant. What I'm a little bit, the only reason I was a little bit like, oh, is because supposedly what I've been told by LAPD Internal Affairs, not once, but twice now, in November and when I contacted you, was that they keep telling me that they had already instigated an internal affairs between the departments, which apparently didn't happen because that's misinformation that I'm receiving wrong, possibly, whatever. But anything it takes to get this initiated, I really desperately want to be safe, ma'am, and I want to be compliant as all possible. Like, it's ridiculous. I don't know, not you. I'm in a terrifying position. I want to do whatever it takes to get this started. I believed and document that I started it in November, which is why the last LAPD Internal Affairs guy, he kind of freaked out and he threw me at you guys, which I still don't even think it's appropriate that I'm dealing with you guys, but that's fine. I'm with whatever it is.
Tell you why you're dealing with us. Like I tried to tell you last time, Officer Shin is an airport police detective, right? Who we sometimes loan out to LAPD, and that's probably why he has an LAPD case.
Ma'am, so, I would agree. Let me put it this way. I agree with you 100%. I agree with you, and I would validate that 100%. But the problem is he's dealing with the court that is in court right now. He's saying that I'm breaching a restraining order using LAPD credentials, but LAPD does not have a copy of this restraining order on file. So yeah, I would agree with you if things were like kind of halfway normal, yeah. He still has an assault with deadly weapons case that he never gave a DR, that he ran off with, and they found a brandishing case and a videoed assault case that he handed off to Delgado that they tried to file when I went through internal affairs here in November. Those happened by the same, the alleged victim that he's saying I'm in breach of a restraining order. All those counts in the discovery end up being every time I'm engaged with officers trying to report dangers at my home. So things are off. I appreciate you. I'm not trying to disrespect you at all. I totally want to be compliant and whatever it takes to get it done. Part of my confusion is because LAPD misled me to believe that they had already instigated a complaint with you guys in November about this. So that's why I'm tripping. It's not you. I apologize.
All right, let me, you know what, I think I'm just going to start the process because you called back in November, and I don't know. You actually called November 27th.
Oh, I ended up calling you guys?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I called you guys because LAPD had already told me at that point that, oh, he's not an employee of ours. We can't investigate that anything happened with any of those cases. And let me put it this way. I at no point have ever had an interest of trying to, oh, I want this officer. No, I literally was trying to find out what happened to my paperwork because I was trying to be proactive to be safe.
Okay, so do you want to know okay, so tell me what you want to do.
I need to report against him, yes.
A complaint on Officer Shin.
And Delgado.
And who?
Delgado? Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so far as your paperwork go as it relates to the court, that would be handled at the court because we don't have any paperwork regarding the court.
Okay, so but okay, no, that's cool. So he's not I guess awesome. Not awesome, but I appreciate that. So he's not currently, right? Just like he's sometimes working for LAPD and stuff, but he's not working on a LAWA case against me right now, right?
I don't know what case he's working because I don't know Detective Shin's caseload. I don't know what he's working on.
Okay, well, I'm sorry. What I meant was I was trying to understand what you were trying to clarify for me there.
Okay, because you said you want to know what's going on with your paperwork with Shin, right?
Ma'am, he's hidden reports of assaults. He had hidden in November when I contacted you guys. Delgado had a video of me getting assaulted, and there was a brandishing case that they took out of LAPD custody and never had an LAPD DR. And in August, they started having me charged with the suspect from that, when all of that stuff was prior. So I'm not tripping about the paperwork right now. Now I'm worried about reporting against them. I had contacted you in November. I was trying at that point to find out what was going on. At that point, it was before he escalated and charged me 70 times since I contacted your office.
Okay, so are you going to
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So if you're going to court, that means that a case got filed against you.
In LAPD's name, which they don't have a record of, and they do not have the restraining order of record for me to be breaching. Super dangerous what Shin has done.
Okay, so if you're going to court, whatever case that he was working on and got filed, that's why you're going to court.
He wasn't working on that file when he was still here. He started that file from over there. He's abdicating a restraining order in Venice from when after he went back to Olawa. This,
okay, so if he started a case at LAPD...
He did not start a case at LAPD, ma'am. I'm trying to sell you this. So at LAPD, when he left, that case wasn't started. He has started subsequently since being back at LAWA. He is filing a case in LAPD, in LAX court, saying LAPD. And even if he had started it when he was at LAPD, there would be a DR reflected and LAPD would know about the restraining order that I'm supposedly breaching. And no, he cannot continue to take phone calls from someone in the middle of Venice and decide that, yeah, I'm breaching a restraining order. When there's no record of the local jurisdiction. Ma'am, the reason I'm distressed is I badly have desperately wanted to get in a position.
So I'm about to interview you.
Okay.
And then I'm going to write this complaint up. So hold on one second.
Thank you very much, ma'am. But like, I've been super desperate to try to get myself into a position in life where I can engage with law enforcement, and as far as like not being considered a problem, that maybe like I can be started to like develop a relationship where I was someone of the community, that someone that was actually looking to them to try to make sure I'm doing the right thing. Because all I really, really, really want is to be able to feel safe enough so that I can start to get better, so that I could even have a job working around people, mopping floors and paying my own rent. That's all I want in life. I don't have any interest in other people as far as private relationships or nothing. Like, I'm really trying to be responsible. I wanted this relationship with LAPD to change because I had negative experiences in the past. And like, I wanted to try to learn that I'm safe dealing with police because of my condition. And like, patrol's done me a great job. But this whole thing has really caused a lot of confusion and distress. Like, I literally... I've been assaulted by the same, but I have, yeah, it's bad. It's bad. It's bad. Like, I would be all good. Like, I'd be even cool with it. Like, had I been charged and I was facing a case that was being abdicated by the appropriate department. The reason this became an issue is last month, I was outside talking to officers and that dude came out of his house super aggressive and like demanding that I was cuffed up. And so I was like, guys, can you just cuff me up and take me? I'm tired of this. It's too much. It's all day, every day. And they ran because they knew nothing about the restraining order. They've known that I've been panicked trying to tell them I have one. And they're like, you don't have one. They think I'm crazy. The dude shows in the paperwork. They're like, this isn't on file with us. This was never served. That was last month. And meanwhile, I have Shin continuing to just violate me. There's no record of it with the local police department for me to be even breaching. So at that point, yeah, clearly he's doing something wrong.
Okay, hold on one second. I'm just trying to find
For sure.
the paperwork.
No, I appreciate you. I apologize again. You have my respect flatly for us making it through the start of that call. I do appreciate you. I know you guys get... I know you guys... Look, I'm super objective. I know you guys get... nothing, you don't get nice calls ever. And I know that everybody wants to call because they felt like you guys owed them having got their cat collar after you saved the cat. Oh, how'd you scratch it? I understand. This situation is so bizarre. It's been scary for me to feel like I was safe to engage with someone that they would hear enough. You proved to me that, ma'am. That's why I'm able to talk kind of calm right now. You can hear a difference in my tone because I literally start just terrified that, oh God, and this is happening and I can't. So thank you so much. You've done an excellent job.
Okay, so sorry, let me just get a little personal information.
For sure. Appreciate it.
Because I don't want to put that on tape. Spell your last name for me.
My last name is going to be Fanning. F as in Frank. A-N-N-I-N-G.
What's your first name?
It's going to be Aaron. A-R-E-N.
Okay, address?
204 Lincoln Boulevard, unit number 14, 90291.
90291.
Yes, ma'am.
Is that, what city is that? Is that LA?
Venice.
Okay, and phone number?
It's going to be 323.
Okay, so so I need to know when did this actually start occurring with Officer Shin?
Absolutely. So this started occurring with Officer Shin in the beginning of the beginning of June of last year is my record. I have full documented text message exchange because he was dealing with me on a cell phone.
Okay, June 29th until when is the last time you had contact with him?
The last contact is going to be November. My direct contact was going to be like November 5th or 6th when I forwarded that off to LAPD Internal Affairs, where he still wasn't he was identifying himself as LAPD. He said that he was no longer at Pacific, but to give Internal Affairs his cell phone number and have them call. And that's when I found out later that, well, the commander of Internal Affairs is the ex-chief of police from there.
Okay, and then when did this happen? What's the location? Like the area? Did it happen at your house?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. At my home.
Okay, so now we're about to go on record. Okay, hold on one second.
Thank you very much.
This is a tape recorded interview for investigation IA number to be determined at a later date. Today's date is July 29, 2020, and the time is 11:54 hours. The telephonic interview is being conducted from 7303 Worldway West Internal Affairs. Present to be interviewed is Aaron Fanning. For the record, can you spell your first and last name for me?
Yes, ma'am. My first name is A-R-E-N. My last name is F as in Frank, A-N as in Nancy, N-I-N-G.
The interview is being conducted by myself, Sergeant Alita Arando of Internal Affairs, serial number 00436. Mr. Fanning, I'm here today to talk to you about an allegation as it relates to Officer Shin, and you want to make a complaint on him. Can you tell me what the complaint is about?
Yes, ma'am. The complaint is about I had my interactions with him. I believe that he introduced himself as an LAPD detective in early June of last year. He started to kind of be involved in any reporting I made or any reporting that was against me. Like I had the first time I was contacted by him and then Delgado a half hour later was them calling and telling me that they were each closing out other cases that I had complained. I was able to state that there was evidence and we were going to continue conversation. What ends up happening is I had been assaulted on video, and then I had someone brandish a gun on me on video. I have had a knife pull on me. I thought I was being very respectful, not having experience dealing with a detective, so I was trying to be respectful of what the situation was. Another one of the tenants in my building got threatened by one of the people that had pulled a knife on me. Because Shin hadn't been really communicative with me and I was trying to make sure that I had a good relationship with my local law enforcement, I had actually wrote him a note days prior, go, hey, you know what, sir, things have calmed down around here. I don't hear the guy threatening me. I want to appreciate you for your time and whatever. Thank you so much. Well, the next day, the other tenant tells me that his kid got threatened by this guy. So I called back Shin to leave him a message, say, hey, sir, I apologize. I think I misspoke. And apparently another tenant got threatened by the dude, you know. And he responds to me and tells me there is no video of it, that he went and checked, there's no ring cameras and there's no witnesses, so he's going to close it out. And I go, well, excuse me, sir, there's actually 3 witnesses at those homes, and if you want them, I will go personally and get you their numbers. They tried to speak to the officers when it happened. So he told me, okay, he's going to deal with it. Then I had a gun pulled on me, and honestly, we kind of started to not have a very respectful relationship at that point. I had a gun pulled on me June 29th. And then on the 30th, he is already calling me. July 1st, he calls me and he demands that do I have a copy of the video with them pulling a gun on me? And I said, no, my landlord does though. And he told me, well, they don't have to get a copy of it and you don't have a video of it. I'm closing it out. I have him on text messages saying that he's now closing that out. At that point, I got a little bit offended because clearly he had been talking down to me about the other situation, why I didn't have evidence. I was like, I had it for officers. They dismissed it. I don't want to hang on to videos of people threatening me. It's not healthy. And so we started not get along that great. Well, I end up the day after I had gotten served with the TRO on the 30th, the day after I had the brandishing, the day before he called me. He's telling me he's closing out the brandishing case that was the day before a temporary restraining order was served on me, and that I have a restraining order. If I have problems with Bruno Vavala, we'll hear it in court. Even though Delgado still had an assault on video from May reported of me. And so those going to vanish. And so we kind of got into this difficult relationship. I tried to just I guess it is what it is. I got assaulted by a tenant here, couldn't get any response. Didn't get investigatory slip in January. September, I ended up getting attacked by the same guy again. Things are escalating a lot. In November, I contacted LAPD Internal Affairs because I could not get any investigations. Records were very strange what was going on with my cases. Officers had no idea or indication that I ever had a brandishing done because there was no DR. They had no idea that I had been assaulted by the man across the street. They had no idea I had a knife pulled on me because the case files just vanished. The incident report numbers never get logged with LAPD. They were found in Delgado and Shin's custody in November. In November, I had gone there because I couldn't figure out what was going on. I spoke to a Sergeant Ernie Berry, who was really aggressive with me about me trying to complain at first. But I go, look, I'm not trying to bust an officer or nothing. I'm really just trying to find out about getting service. I'm not safe in my home. I'm disabled. I want to be safe, sir, so that I could do things correct. So we had this conversation. He puts me onto his cell phone, gives me his cell phone number. He says he takes this very serious and he's going to deal with it. And then I had given him copies of the missing police reports that are not of record. And he asked me for the guy's name. He says, I told him Shin. He said, I don't have a Shin. Can you identify him? I go, I have pictures of him in Delgado because they had come out here, were looking at graffiti. I didn't know what they were looking at graffiti. Apparently, I got accused of it while I was in LAPD station. But, and I sent him that, and I didn't get a response from Ernie Berry, and I was kind of scared, and so he told me he wasn't an employee, so I contacted the number that I had, and I go, hey, I'm trying to deal with LAPD Internal Affairs. What's your serial number? And he gives me some random number, and he says, responds with, I'm no longer at Pacific. Here's my serial number, but have him call my cell phone number. And I go, and he goes, and by the way, you have a $50,000 warrant. Go handle it. I was like, okay, that's crazy. So I text messaged Ernie Berry that. And Ernie Berry then lets me know that he's not an employee of LAPD, that he cannot investigate it. That what he had told me then was that he had started an interdepartmental internal affairs complaint because there was issues that he was very well aware of. And then we continued to dialogue. He let me know that he was going to send me an investigatory receipt for LAPD, but that he had started one. Those never came. And I did show up to court. I got detained very weirdly. I got detained by UCLA cops.
When did you go to court?
Huh?
When did you go to court?
I've been going to court. So I got detained in November. They gave me a date. So January 10th was the first day I could show up to court, right? I show up to court thinking I'm showing up for a $50,000 hearing. breach of order, which I still didn't. Even with the guy across the street, if he did have a restraining order, I would have been fine with it because my intention was to respect it and I have no intention or engagement or interaction. It should be no problem. The guy, anybody, I feel like, if you have a restraining, they have a right to feel safe. I'm not going to mess with that. But, so I show up to court figuring that, okay, maybe there's some confusion. I didn't get served. I get hit with 46 fucking counts. Pardon my language. 46 counts. The super strange when I showed up for the arraignment. Oh, public defender had 6 days before. I only have one person that I have a restraining order on file with LA about, and that's my mom in Northern California. But that's not even valid anymore. But somehow she got 6 days before that arraignment. She got sent copies of the courtside registry reflecting all of the charges. My mom and I don't get along, so she freaked out on me, and I have very limited support, so she hasn't been communicating with me since then. That escalated when I went to my next court hearing, because I was like, I didn't get a public defender. Public defender conflicted out on me, which is super weird. I have no negative relationship with them. They bypassed alternative public defender, and on my arraignment, when I showed up for my arraignment, there was already, the judge didn't assign it, there was already a bar counsel independent lawyer assigned to the side that I can't contact, that won't interact with me, that won't even interact with my mom, asking why she's watching videos of me getting assaulted by the supposed victim. And so I've been trying to deal with bar about it. There's something happened that's super weird. Alternative public defenders was shocked that they got bypassed. So, and it escalated to 64 charges. At the February hearing, I was about to vomit, so at that point, I assured to fire the lawyer in front of witnesses, and I started bar complaint because the guy is definitely not looking out for my best interests. When I told him I had an internal affairs complaint going, he didn't check on that, and then so that kind of went its way. Last month, the dude tried to have me arrested out front of my house yet again while I was dealing with officers. LAPD ran it. What's that?
Who tried to have you arrested?
The supposed victim in the restraining order that Shin is protecting. The guy that brandished a gun on me.
Was Shin there when they were trying to arrest you?
No, they weren't trying to arrest me. They were literally, okay, let me explain that. They weren't here to arrest me. Police were coming to provide me service, and we were just having a chat. We were just engaged. Like, no problems.
Okay, so was Officer Detective Shin there that day?
No, he wasn't. And what happened, though...
Let me just ask you a couple of questions.
For sure.
Can you describe Detective Shin to me?
Yeah, I can send you a picture of him.
I need you to describe him.
Huh?
I need you to describe him for the tape recording as well.
For sure. He's a bigger... He's not a fat guy by any means, but he's a bigger, solid, whiter guy. Shaved head. He had a mustache at the time. He was driving a gold Ford. On June 26th at like 11 o'clock, I have a picture of him and Delgado inspecting the graffiti across the street. I didn't know that that's who that was. I just saw detectives taking pictures of graffiti. I thought it was weird. I took a picture. And I started trying to engage with them, and they told me that they were investigating me for something violent, or they accused me of the graffiti. I was like, I just left LAPD station.
Okay, so you said Shin is, so his nationality, you would say Caucasian. He's kind of not on the heavier side, but he's a big guy with a shaved head.
Yeah, I wouldn't call him fat. He's definitely a big built guy, though. You know, he's definitely. I'm 140 pounds. He's a larger man, and I don't mean that insultingly. Like, it's not like obese.
So what does Delgado look like?
She's super skinny, blonde.
She's blonde.
Yeah, well, yeah, she had blonde highlights at that point. Yeah, sir. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so can you send me her photos that you have of them?
Absolutely.
Okay.
And those are the ones that I had sent to Internal Affairs LAPD.
Okay, I don't have any photos, so I don't know. I don't know. So you've met Shin in person?
Yeah, well, so yeah, yes and no. He didn't introduce, I had already been engaged with him on the phone.
Okay.
They didn't let me know that that's who was here. Because they were supposedly investigating my reports, right? Well, suddenly there's officers here investigating apparently allegations against me. And I even tried to talk to him. I was like, yeah, I had literally was at the police station at the time that's being accused. And like, we didn't engage. It didn't go well. He never told me that he was Shin at that point. I found that out later.
So how did you know is Shin, the white guy with the bald shaved head? How did you come to learn that was Detective Shin?
From his threats and his engagements later. The dude.
Okay, so I'm just saying, did he describe himself to you? How do you?
Oh, because he told me that was him. I'm sorry, thank you so much. He told me that was him here, that he wasn't here investigating the graffiti, that he had actually been here investigating a very serious crime. And that...
Officer Shin did he describe himself to you, but he just said, oh, that day when you saw me out there, that was me, the Caucasian male with the bald shaved head that's a little thick or bigger than the average person? What I mean
by, we did engage that day, so we talked, and like I had known I didn't know that was them. What I understood was that those were officers that were supposedly investigating me for whatever, some type of crimes, and I didn't know. Later in our conversations with me and Shin, that's when he disclosed that was him. Because I had called and I was trying to say that, hey, I'm being threatened. And when he responded, first thing he did in the text message, after I had the brandishing case reported, I get a text message from Shin and it goes, hey, do you have a video of Bruno pulling the gun on you? And at first I was at the hospital getting checked out because I was stressed out. I want to make sure I was cool. And I've never had any mental health competency issues or ever found to have a mental health issue. And he called, this is happening while I'm in there, and so my service was weird. I was like, who is this? Because that was a really weird question out the blue. And then I realized, oh, that was that detective that I've been talking to. And I'm like, wait, you're dealing with this now? Now you're investigating, now you're dealing with the brandishing case? I thought you were dealing with the assault with the deadly weapons where you refused any of the witnesses and you said that it's not happening, which there still is no DR on. And that's when we got into it. That's when he disclosed that had been him, that he was there, that he's investigating me for allegedly threatening to kill my landlady, a social worker, another tenant. If I don't have the video of Bruno pulling the gun on me, he's closing out the brandishing case. And if I have a problem with it, I'll have my day in court.
So let me just do a clarifying question.
For sure.
So the day when you allegedly saw Shin and
Delgado
outside dealing with the vandalism case, you didn't know that was Shin. Did you go out there and actually talk to that person?
Yes, we were engaged. We were engaged through the window. He was super yelling at me. At first, he was trying to accuse me of the graffiti, and I'm autistic, as you can hear. I talk a little strange sometimes because I don't understand things necessarily the same way. And so when they were accusing me of the graffiti, I got super offended because I am an artist. And I was like, yeah, no, I couldn't do anything like that, meaning I don't do graffiti. I'm not capable, I can't do handwritten stuff. But what I do as an artist, and I was trying to explain to them, and Delgado understood it, is I build monuments, and I actually do police monuments and stuff like that. So I was getting frustrated because I was getting accused of some terrible graffiti that I don't even think graffiti is acceptable, period. And I'm like, yeah, no, I didn't do that. And I was actually in the police station at the time, and the guy was super aggressive with me. So I did not know, they never identified their name. You know what I mean? I was just trying, at that point, what my understanding was, they were supposedly investigating graffiti at that point. It was June 1st, he told me that, no, he's investigating me for some serious crimes and some serious allegations.
Okay, so Mr. Tanner, so that day you had a conversation with that guy outside of your window.
Yes.
You didn't know that was Detective Shin. You guys have another conversation, and the guy tell you, oh, that was me, Detective Shin, outside who you were talking to at the window. What happened?
Yes. He acknowledged that. He acknowledged what he was investigating me for, and he told me that was him.
Okay, so besides that encounter with Detective Shin, have you ever seen him any other time in person?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I have. I saw him November 4th. And at that point, I was really scared, and I was camping in my truck, And he came. I know it was him. He was in the Ford. He had driven by once, and he didn't happen to see where I had been parked in the airport parking lot there in Santa Monica. And then that night, at 4:30 in the morning, he tried to pop my door. And that's when I freaked out, and somehow I ended up getting, I got stopped by UCLA police officers at National and Overland, and I got taken into custody. That's where I ended up getting, the first time I was really grateful, because they told me I had a warrant, and I was like, I understand, I haven't gotten any court paperwork, I don't know what to do. And they ran my history. LAPD didn't want to pick me up, and so they gave me a court date, and I was like super happy. Like, the UCLA cops thought I was the weirdest guy ever, because I was crying with joy that I would be able to be accountable, because I was concerned that I didn't know what it was for, and I didn't want to show up court late, and I'm struggling because my social workers have abandoned me. So yeah, it was weird. He tried to pop my door at 4:30 in the morning. I had called.
November 4th, and that's the same guy who you said was male Caucasian, kind of big with the shaved bald head.
Yes, ma'am. I don't know if he's Caucasian or if he's like a light-skinned Latino. I don't know. I do have the photograph to verify who I'm indicating is, who I believe is.
But that's the description. Yeah, I want to see the photograph.
For sure.
You can send it to me.
I would love to.
Okay, and so I can attach it to the case.
Please.
So your complaint is that Officer Shin has been harassing you outside of his duties with the department. Is that what you're basically saying?
Absolutely, ma'am. Because after that, when in that call with the brandishing thing and him telling me he was going to close it out, he is documented. I document him telling me he has intentions to put me in prison for the rest of my life. I haven't committed any crimes. The dude can't be just doing something because he doesn't like someone. And that's where things got confusing when I was trying to say that, when I tried to say that 5/27 of this year, I was engaged with LAPD outside my home, dealing with my own concerns. Mm-hmm. And out came the guy that brandished on me, and the guy that Delgado hid the assault video that they went and filed at LAX court in November after I started the internal affairs complaint, but it's not attached to anything, it's rejected. They never talked to me either. But
that case been rejected?
Yeah.
Okay.
They never talked to me. They literally went to go and quick file them in the courts after I had started internal affairs with LAPD. And the problem is the suspect in those is the alleged victim in the restraining order that doesn't exist with LAPD records that I'm breaching. And it would have been, fair to have hey, even if I did go to court, well, there was allegations of this, so anybody has a fair shot. Well, Shin ended up straight up telling me that, yeah, his intention is to put me in prison for the rest of my life. He tells me some other things in that, but it got super distressing because once I didn't know, I thought that when I called you guys in November, I thought that the LAPD, they had informed me that they had started an interdepartmental complaint. So I really thought that things were already going. When I find out...
That's why when you called, just to clarify on record, when you called in November, I asked you about the complaint and you told me...
In November?
Yeah, when I spoke to you, November 27th, okay, so let me go back to some records because I keep documentation.
Sorry.
So, you called LAPD. You left messages on LAPD hotline, and I guess LAPD contacted us. On November 25th, I spoke with you at 12:49 hours, and I asked you, you answered the
July 27th. That can't be November, ma'am. I just talked to you just the other day.
On November 25th, 2019, I called you at 12:49 hours, and I spoke with you, or whoever answered the phone, and you asked me who's calling, and after I identified myself, you started yelling, I don't know why Airport Police IA is contacting me. You wanted to talk because you wanted to submit your complaint to LAPD.
Okay, so you know what? You're awesome for your documentation. Okay, so wait a minute. First of all, let me take some accountability. First of all, that was again, I did not understand what was going on at that point in time. And my reasoning of not understanding why I was dealing with you guys is because I had actually, after LAPD Internal Affairs told me that this is not one of their employees, well, what I did is I tried to report to LAPD that I have someone impersonating a cop.
Okay.
And why I did that is because he had not ever identified himself as a LAWA. He still hasn't. Through the internal affairs, he just said that he moved departments to have them contact him and that this is an LAPD serial. So my reason why, I guess, again, I'll take accountability and sure, but why I was freaked out that you guys were contacting me is I was going, how am I involved with LAWA? I've never had any engagement. This is an LAPD issue. If they had a custody issue with what happened in the documents. So that's why I freaked out then in November. I had actually called a couple days ago. So that was the miscommunication when I said I spoke to someone the other day. Wasn't the November one. That's why I got a little confused there. But yeah, no. So the November thing, honestly, I didn't even know what LAWA was or Internal Affairs LAWA. All I knew is that I had some guy harassing me, threatening me for a long time at that point in time. And he had tried to pop my door in November even out in the streets at 4 o'clock in the morning. So then I was terrified because I felt, I wasn't upset with you. I was upset with LAPD because Detective Barry all of a sudden says that he's closed it out and that he started an interdepartmental complaint. I didn't understand how I would be involved with you guys because I've never been engaged with you guys.
Sergeant Barry did contact us, and that's why I contacted you back on, let me see. So I guess okay, so you called LAPD on November 7th at 11:30 to make a complaint on our detective. So according to Barry, they told us, which they did, he's not lying, he called us. That's why I contact you. Because see, when it comes to complaints, I have strict lines and dates that I have to follow based off the Peace Officer Bill of Rights. So when we're notified and when I try to get information from you and I can't get it, that date continues from us. So I have to have something done within a year's time. So when I tried to call you back on November 25th, you hung up and told me that you.
And what I'm trying to, I'm trying to take accountability 100%. I'm not saying that you did me wrong there. What I'm saying is there was a miscommunication from what Barry said to me, and I had all of a sudden been like just basically abandoned by LAPD while they said that they were going to start an interdepartmental complaint. So I did not understand the rest of that, and I was terrified, and so I didn't understand what was going on. Because he told me that I was going to be receiving a receipt for them having already started this complaint. And that's where I was tripping that all of a sudden, because I'll be honest with you, I was scared that someone from that other agency department contacted me all of a sudden because I'd found out from LAPD that, oh, no, someone's been harassing you that's not an LAPD officer that has possession of all of our LAPD documents. So that my brain, because of my lack of experience, my lack of real constructive experience with law enforcement and stuff, and because of the way that I've been manipulated by Shin, playing that he's an LAPD detective while, I'm getting treated wrong, makes me fearful of police. And then when I find out he's not even LAPD and things are going wrong, to have another agency contacted me, I'm disabled, I didn't understand. I literally was 100% scared. Because I didn't understand how is this further that I now have to deal with other people? Why don't my local police know that I've been reporting and that someone has reports in their custody of a brandishing of a knife, brandishing of a gun, videos of me getting assaulted. I have dialogue, message trying to contact and talk with Delgado and provide her more evidence for 6 months. And they weren't responding to me at all. And I'm disabled, I don't really know better. I was scared. I was honestly scared when you called me in November because of what Barry did. Because, they found out it was LAWA. Well, the fact of the matter is that, it really wouldn't have been a LAWA issue because he wasn't working as a LAWA officer of what he was doing. How is LAWA supposed to repair the fact that LAPD documents are missing of record? How is LAWA responsible for LAPD records custodies going wrong? You know what I mean?
Okay. So on that part about records and stuff as it relates to LAPD, you probably have to talk to LAPD. I'm only here in regards to Detective Shin, who the lawsuit.
Right, and what I meant by that, ma'am, is he had those documents still in his possession in November, and he still has one. He has the assault with a deadly weapon in his custody since the November started the investigation, and I actually tried to report that same guy I have on video trying to throw a shopping cart at my head in December.
Okay, so in December, you had contact with Officer Shin again in person when he tried to throw a shopping cart.
No, I did not have contact with him. I apologize. Shin has custody of a report, LAPD police report, incident report, for assault with a deadly weapon, a knife that was pulled on me by a guest of another tenant in my building. That was in May. That was the beginning. In December, after everybody knows that he still has that in his custody, in December, I have on video the suspect from that trying to throw a shopping cart at my head across the street here. And I tried to report it, and there was no record. Every time I've tried to report, hey, the guy that tried to pull a knife on me, LAPD looks at me like I'm crazy because there's no record of that incident report number. Just like there was no record of the brandishing or the assault that Delgado then filed off on the 6th. Now, Barry called you guys on the 7th or whatever it's claimed. Yeah, no, I started it on the 5th. And I actually left.
Yeah, you kind of started with them on the 5th, but we didn't get the call.
No, for sure. But what I meant by that is Delgado claims to have filed with the court on November 6th. The brandishing and the assault.
Who does Delgado work for?
Huh?
Who does Delgado work for?
I have no idea. I thought it was Lawa.
So I kind of got the gist of it. So I need to see those pictures that you're saying. I need to see the picture of Officer Shin
Absolutely.
and Officer Delgado.
Absolutely.
So either you can email them to me or you can mail it to me. How do you want to handle that? Because I need to see the picture.
No, for sure.